Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 5 and we will be presenting about activity-based costing application in manufacturing industry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haziq bin Muhammad Suhaimi. My membership number is 310397. So today I'm going to be talking about the introduction to activity-based costing. Activity-based costing, or ABC, is a method of assigning indirect costs to products and services based on the activities they require. ABC is a good supplement to our traditional cost system. So moving on to the second slide, we have other definitions for ABC. Robin Cooper and Robert S. Kaplan, professors and developers of ABC. Kaplan and Cooper, who popularized the concept while at Harvard University in the 1980s, describe ABC as a cost management approach that calculates the costs of individual activities and assigns them to cost objects like products or services based on the actual activities undertaken to produce each item. They emphasize that ABC solves the problems of traditional cost management systems by shifting the focus to how activities consume resources and incur costs, instead of using broad arbitrary percentages to allocate overhead. ABC identifies cause and effect relationships to objectively assign costs. Second, a definition from the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. They define ABC as an approach to the costing and monitoring of activities, which involves tracing resource consumption and costing final outputs. Resources are assigned to activities, and activities to cost objects based on the consumption estimates. The latter utilize cost drivers to attach activity costs to outputs. So for the third slide is how costs are treated under activity-based costing. ABC assigns both manufacturing costs and non-manufacturing costs to products. ABC does not assign all manufacturing costs to products, it assigns most, but not all. ABC differs from traditional systems by using more cost pools and more allocation bases. ABC bases usually rely on volume measures plus other bases rather than solely relying on volume measures. So on the left hand side, you can see three graphs, manufacturing costs and non-manufacturing costs, and where does it go to. And for the second graph is ABC uses more cost pools, and on the third graph we can see ABC uses more allocation bases. So for the fourth slide is ABC versus traditional costing. Traditional costing relies primarily on volume measures, where the most commonly used allocation base is direct labor hours. Traditional costing applies all overhead costs, including unused and idle capacity costs, to products because the predetermined overhead rate is based on budgeted activities. Under ABC, products are charged only for the cost of capacity they use, not for the cost of capacity they don't use. ABC treats unused capacity costs as period expenses and bases its level of activity on capacity. So on the left hand side, we can see that the traditional costing advantages and disadvantages. Traditional costing systems are simpler and easier to implement than ABC systems. However, traditional costing systems are not as accurate as ABC systems. Traditional costing systems can also result in significant undercosting and overcosting. So moving on to the last slide, the importance of activity-based costing. So first, it adapts to modern cost structures. ABC is essential because it accounts for the reality that overhead costs are increasing while direct labor is decreasing in many modern processes. Secondly, it manages product diversity. It provides a vital solution for the growing variety and complexity of manufacturing goods. And third, it tracks true resource consumption. ABC is important because it correctly measures how diverse products consume overhead activities in different proportions due to varying setup times, product sizes, and batch sizes. And lastly, it prevents cost distortion. Ultimately, ABC prevents the inaccurate and distorted product costs that results from the simple averaging approach used by traditional plant-wide and departmental rates.
Now, Let's take a look at the implementation of activity-based costing in manufacturing industry. Moving on, there are 5 main steps in implementing ABC. The first step is to define activities, activity cost pools, and activity measures. For example, setting up an equipment, machining, product inspection, or material handling. The second step is to assign overhead costs to activity cost pools. This is so that we can group costs according to the activities performed. The third step is to calculate activity rates. The formula that we need to use is overhead cost for activity over total activity driver. The fourth step is to assign overhead costs to cost objects. This is so that products are charged based on actual activity consumption. The fifth step is to prepare management reports. This is so that we can analyze product profitability and cost behavior. Why manufacturers use ABC? So there are 4 main reasons. First reason is so that we can get a more accurate product costing. Second reason is so that we can make better pricing decisions. And the third reason is so that we can have an improved cost control. And the fourth is so that identification of non-value added activities can be done in a more effective way. Okay, so this is how we look at activities, cost pools, and cost drivers. For example, activity number 1, setting up an equipment. The cost pool is the setup cost pool. And the cost driver is the number of setups. So the second activity, machining. The cost pool for machining is machine cost pool, and the cost driver for machining is machine hours. The same goes for product inspection. The cost pool for product inspection is inspection cost pool, and the cost driver for product inspection is inspection hours. And the last activity, material handling. The cost pool for material handling is material movement cost pool, and the cost driver is number of moves. Okay, so here we have an example from the company Gunung Garuda Steel. It is a published study applied ABC to products manufactured by Gunung Garuda Steel, a steel manufacturing company. The researchers compared traditional costing with ABC and found that ABC provided more accurate product costs by assigning overhead based on actual activities consumed. So here, as usual, step 1 is to identify total overhead costs. So here I've shown the working, and the table shows that the list of activities and the cost driver for the activities and the total quantity for the activities. So here we can see a more detailed working of how to calculate the activity rate. So the first is the setup rate, the second is the machine hour rate, and the third is the inspection rate, and the fourth is the material handling rate. So beside that, we can see the comparison between the total costing of product A and product B. So for the final step, we should compute the cost per unit. So for product A, there are 1000 units, and for product B, there are 1500 units. So we should calculate the total cost over the total amount of units. So for product A, 222,000 over 1000 units is equals to 222 per unit. And for product B, 378,000 over 1500, which is 252 per unit.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Shaza binti Ahmad Hamizi and my metric number 300569. Today I will present about factors influencing activity-based costing application in manufacturing industry. According to the article that I have been reviewed, which is Factors Influencing Activity-Based Costing Adoption in Manufacturing Industry, that have been written by Rohanita Maela and Daing Nasir Ibrahim, there are 4 main factors that influence the implementation of activity-based costing, which is useful accounting information, top management support, performance measurement, and also cost distortion. The first factor is useful accounting information. One major benefit of activity-based costing is that it provides more accurate product costing. Activity-based costing allocates overhead costs more precisely, allowing companies to identify the actual cost of each product and reduce costing errors that often occur under traditional costing system. Secondly, activity-based costing supports better pricing decisions. Since managers know the true production cost of products, they can set appropriate selling prices. This helps avoid underpricing or overpricing and improves profitability. Third, Activity-based costing contributes to improved cost control. It identifies activities that consume the more resources, helping managers find opportunities to reduce costs and eliminate unnecessary activities and waste. Finally, activity-based costing enables better decision-making. The accurate information provided by activity-based costing supports strategic decisions such as whether to continue, improve, or discontinue a product. It also assists management in planning and budgeting activity. The second factor is top management support. Successful activity-based costing implementation requires strong commitment from top management. First, management provides clear leadership by guiding employees throughout the implementation process and helping them understand the purpose and benefits of activity-based costing. Second, management allocates the necessary resources. Implementing activity-based costing often requires financial investment, software, training, and employee time. Management must approve budgets and ensure sufficient resources are available. Third, top management encourages employee participation. When employees see that management is committed to the project, they are more willing to support the new system. This reduces resistance to change and creates a positive attitude towards activity-based costing. Lastly, strong management support increases the chance of success. Management can monitor progress, solve implementation issues quickly, and ensure that activity-based costing achieves its intended benefits. The third factor is performance measurement. First, activity-based costing improves cost control by providing detailed information about where costs are incurred. This allows managers to monitor overhead costs more effectively and identify opportunities for continuous cost reduction. Second, activity-based costing helps measure efficiency. Since it tracks the cost of different activities in the production process, managers can distinguish between efficient and inefficient activities and take action to improve operational performance. Third, activity-based costing supports performance evaluation. Managers can assess employees, departments, or processes based on actual activity performance rather than broad cost allocation. This provides a fairer evaluation and helps identify areas that need improvement. Finally, activity-based costing links costs with activities. It clearly shows the relationship between activities performed and the costs incurred. As a result, managers gain a better understanding of cost drivers and can allocate resources more effectively. The last factor is cost distortion. Activity-based costing helps reduce cost distortion by allocating costs based on the actual activities that generate those costs. Using cost drivers such as material handling provides a more accurate picture of product costs. Reducing cost distortion also improves profitability analysis. Managers can identify which products are profitable and which are not, allowing them to make better decisions regarding product design, pricing, and production. On the other hand, cost distortion can lead to incorrect product pricing. If costs are underestimated, product may be sold too cheap, while overestimated costs may result in high prices. Both situations can reduce profitability. Additionally, traditional costing method may hide the true cost of activities, making it difficult to identify inefficient or wasteful activities and causing companies to miss opportunity for cost reduction. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Redwan Ahmed Ali Adamari. My name is Muhammad Harizmai Muhammad Zaid and my metric number is 314601. I will now continue the presentation by discussing the advantages of activity-based costing in the manufacturing industry. ABC allocates costs based on activities, providing more accurate cost information than traditional costing methods. Based on the journal articles review, several important advantages of ABC have been identified. These include more accurate product costing, better pricing decision, improved profitability analysis, better cost control, and improved production efficiency. These findings are supported by two journal articles. In the next slide, I will briefly introduce these articles before discussing each advantage in a more detailed way. To understand the advantages of activity-based costing, I reviewed two journal articles. The first article is titled Activity-Based Costing ABC System on the Calculation of Cost of Goods Sold (COGS). This article shows that ABC improved cost calculations, support better decision making, and strengthens profitability. This study also reported that the accuracy of cost of goods sold calculations increased from 65% to 85% after the implementation of ABC. The second article is titled Integrating Activity-Based Costing with Continuous Enhancement, a strategic approach to operational efficiency and cost management. These articles explain that ABC helps organizations identify non-value added activities, improve resource allocation, and strengthen cost management practices. Now, let us look at the advantages of ABC one by one. The first advantage of activity-based costing is more accurate product costing. ABC provides more accurate product costs because it allocates overhead costs based on the activities that consume resources rather than using broad allocation methods. According to the articles, ABC improved the accuracy of cost calculations by identifying specific activities and cost drivers involved in the production process. It also allocates costs according to actual resource usage, which reduces cost distortion. The second advantage of activity-based costing is better pricing decisions. ABC supports pricing decisions because it provides more accurate and reliable cost information. When companies understand the true cost of producing a product, they can set selling prices more effectively. The articles explain that accurate cost information helps management avoid losses caused by inaccurate cost allocation and supports better pricing strategy. ABC also helps companies determine the actual cost of production so prices can better reflect the resources consumed. The third advantage of activity-based costing is improved profitability analysis. ABC helps organizations identify profitable and unprofitable products and customers. This enables management to evaluate business performance more effectively. The articles show that detailed cost information helps managers make better decisions regarding production, marketing, and pricing strategy. By tracing costs to specific activities, managers can identify which products and customers contribute the most to profitability. Fourth advantage of activity-based costing is better cost control. ABC helps organizations identify non-value added activity, highlights areas that require management attention, and helps businesses identify areas for improvement. ABC focuses on controlling the activities that generate costs, helps organizations identify waste and inefficient resource usage. The fifth and final advantage of activity-based costing is improved production efficiency. ABC helps organizations identify non-value added activities and encourages continuous improvement. The articles explain that ABC improved operational efficiency by reducing unnecessary waste and optimizing resource usage. ABC can also be integrated with continuous improvement practices to enhance operational performance. In conclusion, activity-based costing offers several important advantages for manufacturing industry. Thank you for your attention.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatina Imana binti Mohammed, number matric 298789. Now, I will discuss the problems and challenges of implementing activity-based costing or ABC in manufacturing industries. The first challenge is high implementation costs. Companies need to invest in software, employee training, and system development to establish an ABC system. This can be expensive, especially for small and medium-sized manufacturing firms. The second challenge is data collection difficulties. ABC requires detailed information about activities and cost drivers. Collecting and maintaining this data can be time-consuming and may require significant effort from employees. The third challenge is lack of expertise and training. Employees and managers may not fully understand how ABC works. Without proper knowledge and training, companies may experience difficulties in allocating costs accurately. The fourth challenge is system maintenance. Manufacturing processes often change over time, which means cost pools and cost drivers must be regularly updated, which requires continuous monitoring and maintenance. The final challenge is employee resistance to change. Employees who are familiar with traditional costing methods may be reluctant to adopt a new system. This resistance can slow down the implementation process and reduce the effectiveness of ABC. Although these challenges can be significant, they can be overcome through proper planning, training, and management support. Several journal articles have identified common challenges faced by manufacturing companies when implementing ABC. The first challenge is organizational resistance. According to previous studies, many organizations face resistance because employees and managers are accustomed to traditional cost allocation methods. Changing established practices often requires a cultural shift within the organization. The second challenge is complexity in data collection and analysis. Researchers found that ABC requires accurate and reliable information about activities and resources. However, collecting and analyzing this data can be difficult and resource intensive. The third challenge is lack of management support and commitment. Journal findings show that successful ABC implementation depends heavily on strong leadership. Without support from top management, companies may struggle to allocate the resources needed for implementation. Another challenge is integration with existing systems. Many organizations find it difficult to integrate ABC with their current accounting systems, information systems, and operational processes. This may increase implementation complexity and cost. The final challenge is employee training and education. Studies emphasize that employees need adequate knowledge and skills to understand and use ABC effectively. Without proper training, the benefits of ABC may not be fully realized. Overall, the journal findings suggest that successful ABC implementation requires management commitment, employee readiness, reliable information systems, and effective change management. In conclusion, activity-based costing or ABC is an important costing method that helps manufacturing companies allocate overhead costs more accurately based on activities performed. Throughout this presentation, we first discussed the concept of ABC and how it differs from traditional costing systems. Unlike traditional costing, ABC provides a more accurate representation of the resources consumed by products and activities. Next, we examine how ABC is implemented in manufacturing industries through the identification of activities, creation of cost pools, and selection of appropriate cost drivers. The case study also demonstrated how ABC can improve cost allocation and operational decision making. We also explored several factors that influence the adoption of ABC, including management support, company size, user attitudes, external competition, and the need for cost-saving mechanism. These factors play an important role in determining whether ABC can be implemented successfully. In addition, the presentation highlighted the advantages of ABC, such as more accurate product costing, better pricing decisions, improved profitability analysis, stronger cost control, and enhanced production efficiency. However, as discussed in the final section, organizations may face challenges including high implementation costs, complex data collection processes, lack of expertise and training, system maintenance requirements, and resistance to change. Overall, the journal findings indicate that although ABC implementation can be challenging, its benefits in improving costing accuracy and managerial decision making make it a valuable tool for manufacturing industries. Therefore, companies that provide adequate resources, training, and management support can successfully implement ABC and gain a competitive advantage in today's business environment. Thank you.